The sound relationship house is really just a visual diagram of the factors that John and I found in the research that actually predict the success of a relationship. So, if you imagine a house with 7 floors and 2 walls, the sound relationship house is that. And here are the floors, here are the walls. The bottom floor is what we call love maps. And love maps are really knowing your partner's internal world, like knowing their internal landscape. What are their feelings? What are their needs? What are their values? And strengthening that by asking your partner questions, big open ended questions like, I really want to know how you're feeling about your work these days. Are you loving it? Are you not loving it? How are you feeling? That would be a love map. That's the bottom level. The second level is fondness and admiration. And that means expressing your fondness, your love, your respect, your admiration for your partner, both with your words and with touch. Touch is wonderful. It really helps your partner feel cared for. Number 3, the third floor is what we call turning toward. And turning toward doesn't mean just physically turning toward. What it means is when your partner wants your attention, maybe calls out your name or asks you a question, you're metaphorically turning toward your partner and answering your partner. Yeah, what can I do for you? Or, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. I'll go grocery shopping for you. So it's saying yes when your partner makes a bid for connection or maybe expresses a need. That's a really important one. The fourth level is what we call the positive perspective versus the negative perspective. Now, this one is interesting because you can't work on it directly. But what it represents is your general overall attitude towards your partner. Are you feeling so badly about being criticized or being the object of contempt or maybe just feeling really distant from your partner that you are in the negative perspective most of the time, which means your partner could say, "Hey, honey, you look great," and you would hear that as a criticism. So there's a real negative bias in your attitude versus the positive perspective where if your partner demonstrates a little bit of negative behavior, like being grouchy in the morning, instead of thinking, God, my partner is such a jerk, rather, you are going to think, oh, they must have had a really bad night's sleep last night. You give your partner the benefit of the doubt. That's the positive perspective. The fourth level is managing conflict. So we're up on floor 4 now. Managing conflict is composed of a lot of different steps, but in general, you're managing conflict in a way that is calmer, that is more gentle, where you don't get flooded going into fight or flight. You can express your needs without using criticism or contempt, and you don't get defensive. So managing your conflict, of course, is a very big floor. That one has 12-foot ceilings, if you want to think about it that way. There's a lot to managing conflict, but the steps, if you learn them, are all relatively easy to follow. The next level is what we call honoring each other's dreams. And honoring each other's dreams is really just such a beautiful floor. This one is decorated really well, I like to think. So what it means is when your partner is expressing some perhaps perpetual problem that you're wrestling with, and they are presenting their own position on it, Oftentimes, there will be an underlying dream in that position of theirs that you need to unearth by asking your partner important questions. Questions like, to their position on the issue, why is that so important to you? Help me understand that. Or, is there some underlying purpose or need here? Or, what's your ideal dream here regarding this conflict position? All of those lead to understanding way down deep inside your partner what is their dream about some particular issue. Let me give you an example. One might be, let's say your partner really wants you to share in the housework. Simple thing. And you don't want to. Well, if you ask your partner some questions like, why is this so important to you? You may be surprised to hear your partner say, if I didn't have to do all the housework, I could start taking classes and finish my college coursework. Wouldn't that be cool? Well, there's the ideal dream, you see, that's underlying their position on their issue of wanting you to share in the housework. So that's really a lovely, lovely thing to do, and even to ask your partner, so what are your dreams for our future together? That's a lovely question to ask your partner that most of us forget to ask. And finally, the top level, the seventh level, is called sharing meaning. So creating shared meaning doesn't mean you've got to have the same values, the same goals, the same sense of purpose and meaning for your life. Instead, what it means is talking about your values, your purpose for your own life, and hearing what your partner has to say about that too. Finally, we get to the two walls. One is trust, one is commitment. And trust really means, do you trust your partner to have your back? Are they really there for you? Are they loyal to you? Do you feel like, if you were really in trouble, they would be there for you? Or if you want to celebrate some great success, will they share that success with you? That is building trust. That's one wall. The other wall is commitment. And commitment means seeing this relationship as a journey for your lifetime. Commitment means no matter what happens, we're going to be there for each other. I'm committed to you. I'm committed to this relationship. We're on a journey together, and let's go. That's the Sound Relationship House.